Welcome to the GCI Conference Center. Please enter your access code followed by the pound sign. Thank you. Please stand by. If you are the chairperson, press the star key now. Please enter your chairperson access. You will now be placed into conference. There are 5 participants in the conference.
Hi guys, who's on the phone? Can you hear me? Is anyone on the phone?
Yeah, RJ here.
RJ. Let's see, we have
Russell, Hans, RJ.
Facilities.
Who else? I heard somebody else.
notes.
RJ, Tessie.
Yeah, we've got RJ, Doug, Russell, and Hans. Was it Patricia? Okay, Patricia, very good.
Okay, good. Hi guys.
You ready? Good evening, council and staff. It is February 3rd. I would like to call our regular council meeting to order and roll call, please.
1 second. Regular meeting, City of Craig, February 3rd, 2022. Could you repeat that answer, please?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I would like to call the regular city council meeting to order and roll call.
Thank you. Julie McDonald? Here. Hannah Bennett? Thank you. Jim Steve?
Absent, excuse.
Thank you. Mary Sarah?
Here.
Michael Chapman?
Here.
Janelle McKinley? Here. Cynthia Carter?
Here, wait.
You just get started. So we're right at the top of the agenda. So.
Perfect. So everybody's here, you know, the forum. Moving on, consent agenda.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion been made, seconded to adopt the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we'll be hearing from the public. Any public? Nobody on the phone? On the phone?
Yeah,
Cool.
we have several department heads.
What's that?
We have several department heads on the phone. I know the members of the public.
Okay. Okay. Those resolutions, we need to go over them, or we can get them later, so we can. Okay. Reports from the council. There, had one. Been very busy. Give a plaque to the ferry and they give us one back. Pretty nice. For their 20 years of service and everybody that was involved in it. While I was on the ferry, we were approached by Sherry Klein representing Sullivan, Murkowski and Young, asking how our harbor funding is coming along. which they think is coming along pretty well. There was a small glitch that we're working on. And Robert Venables from Southeast Conference informed me that we have $500,000 to assist us in starting our mariculture project. The building. And EDC got some more for us, either EDC or
Yes, yeah.
USDA, yeah, should get reviewed, EDC is one good. Yeah. Anyway, USDA has an additional bunch of funding coming through possibly. So that's moving forward and doing well. We have a meeting on the 17th for to tell people to meet with everybody. It's a pretty important meeting. Me and Brian will be going up to Juneau for the Southeast Conference and then back to the League Conference. And then I'll come back for the health meeting in the middle of it. Bycatch issues are being addressed today in a meeting with David Vincent Lang, which was pretty important because I see Craig Tompkins and Ortiz was on the committee. So they're making some headway there, actually.
Get attention.
They're getting his attention for sure. Anyway, the administrator, what do you know?
I submitted a written report, there, just a couple of quick additions. First is, under item number 4, I've submitted all of our CAPSIS requests. I got them in on the original deadline, the extended deadline of it, but we're done for the year unless I get some other direction. The mayor did ask me to add siting and concept design for the new public safety building. So in addition to the projects that I listed in my report, I added a CAPSIS nomination for that particular project. And under item 6, I reversed my meeting time. So we met with some folks last night talking about ATVs at 7. The meeting next week is at 5, not 7. So if you would like to attend 5 o'clock next Thursday night, will be the second ATV meeting. So we had a good discussion last night. I think we'll have a good discussion. Timing wise, I'm likely to bring an ordinance to the council March 3rd, kind of assuming one direction, but the council will have some options to discuss it. So, happy to answer any questions about anything in my report or anything else going on.
The first question I had was on the berm pit. So I don't remember the berm pit, but that's like my husband's get away from the children, I mean, activity. But what I was hearing from people is, obviously people don't like to walk. I understand what we have to do it, I'm with you. But what people were saying to me is that even with the walking, that you can just go around it. So I was curious if the walking, I don't know if it's an RJ question or what, like is walking it actually keep people from?
Well, the goal is not necessarily to keep people from getting into the burn pit.
Yeah, no, is to keep people from, because what I was told by people that go there regularly is that they do see trash and mattresses and stuff being tossed in there. So as in the short term, we've done the walking thing, which I get. But my question is with the capability of people going around it, is the walking at this point actually reducing the items we don't want in there from going in there?
I will ask RJ and Russell. I haven't had any reports of stuff being in the burn pit. RJ, have you heard reports of trash and stuff in the burn pit that hasn't been linked to somebody checking the key out?
I didn't look yet, and I think that people are still gonna think their household garbage, that's a trash bag, yeah, you can put it on, either as long or not, people can simply go around that. Having the gate closed is gonna keep, the bigger items, that in there, as far as, I use it for this quite a bit, and anytime that we get the, or we trash, we try to track it down. in community energy improvements, we get tickets, so there's no warnings, for this particular violation. And I don't know if, Russell, has heard anything, but nothing's been reported, to me, since we started launching it. The metal items that, public works been having issues with, that has stopped since, the launching has gone back into place.
Okay, so that's why you tell people that talk to the it is stopping the big items.
It's not a perfect solution.
Right, I also think the logging of the key is helping to.
Yeah, there was some kind of, then my other question for you is just a simple one, and I don't recall, you were talking about the ATV working group, which I'm glad you guys are within. When does our, that stopgap that we put in, when does that expire?
March 31st.
March 31st.
So if everything works out, I get an ordinance to the council March 3rd, and the council has an idea of the direction it wants to go, that gives us the 2 meetings in March to pass an ordinance before the moratorium expires.
Okay, moratorium, that's the word I was looking for. It seemed like so long when we passed it, and now it's like.
Tell me about it.
3 months ago.
I know, it was like, oh, that's plenty of time. All right, anyways, that is my, thank you.
You bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One is, I'm sorry, I missed the meeting last night, I wasn't aware of it, but I will certainly make one next week. And I do walk around the gate, all my burnables, I keep collecting them and collecting them until I get several boxes and stuff. And then I just go out there and throw them and burn them, and I know the gate's locked, how does people feel about that if it's appropriate material?
But the people that came to me were annoyed. Why do I have to go get the key? I'm like, well, because if you people, we're gonna get for everybody, and now you gotta go get the key. That's what I've been telling people, but then they say that, and they really just walk around the gate.
For his stuff, I mean, that's what I do, but I like the gate open too, but I also understand why it's closed, so I'm not opposed to that.
I mean, that would be a very motivated person to not get the key and carry a mattress around, throw it over, go, shove it in, you know.
Now they're just dumping in the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lock is certainly not a 100% solution about
Yeah.
keeping garbage at it, but it does keep, some of the bigger stuff out, and it kind of narrows the who's out there and when. So if we do get complaints or we do find trash, at least there's kind of some narrower timeframes to look at the.
Now, on the garbage issue, the Mayor Kenai, I was talking to him here the other day, and he brought up a way that they're dealing with some of their recyclables up there. And he said that they have the high school kids going around home to home, if somebody has a bag full of plastic or a bag full of aluminum cans, you call the high school and they'll send a couple of students out and collect this stuff. And it helps them fund their trips to the other schools to play sports or whatever. And by selling that stuff or whatever they're doing. And he says, as far as the glass goes, like in the bars and that they're collecting that, and they got a glass pulverizer. And they take that glass and they dump it on a beach. And they have a beautifully white sand beach now. With all round pulverized glass. And we have that beach over there by the graveyard, which would be a good site for that, if we were gonna do something like that. But,
I got a lot of glass.
so I know, it'd be a little brown, but that's okay. We could mix it green, blue, and brown, that'd look cool, but anyway, it's a thought, you run it by us and that's something to consider. Because we can't do the recyclables anymore, because every time we do, somebody throws garbage in it. If these high school students were gathering this stuff up, keeping it sorted, we wouldn't have that issue. We'd have recyclables. And, even aluminum, if Trojan's still trying to recycle it, we could give him the aluminum and let him do his thing, and even the plastics, if he could bale it and ship it south. And then the glass, like I said, if we got a pulverizer, which that wouldn't take much for a pulverizer, we could grind that stuff up, and make a beach somewhere.
I'm guessing before you dump it somewhere for a beach, you're gonna have to go through some type of environmental.
Not really,
You don't think so?
no, glass, it's sand anyway.
Well, you're changing I'm not against it, I'm just saying, I would think you'd be changing
makeup of the.
I don't know, we could look into it, but they got away with it up in Kenai. So, that's interesting, so, yeah.
That is
No, it's an interesting idea, I'm just thinking.
Well, otherwise it goes in the landfill, gets buried up there and there it sits.
No, I'm with you 100%. I'm just concerned that there's gonna be some snail
Well,
that
it
then
always is.
dies and
You
you're
can step
sued.
on snails, though.
I don't know.
I know for a while the PTSAs were doing aluminum collection, AML or I think it was even before Sampson was providing some cut rate or free backhaul. And I don't know if PTSAs are still collecting aluminum for the schools. I know they used to. do
They
that.
haven't, no, and they used to be out in Coak. And you would
Yeah.
just go through the
Right.
cans and
And
containers,
the,
it's not there anymore.
It's because people are throwing back.
Yeah.
Hang on.
The glass issue might be a good discussion issue for Seaswell. Seaswell recently got a grant and purchased a tire shredder similar for Southeast. And that they could shred piles of tires. Southeast Alaska Solid Waste Authority. Cooperative group of half a dozen or so Southeast Alaska communities that was formed specifically to kind of manage some solid waste issues. Russell is our representative on the C-SWAP board.
Might be something worth looking into. We could make a pretty nice beach somewhere. Victoria had a question there for.
No, I just was gonna say, I, once upon a time was the president of the PTSA and constantly got, letters from the aluminum company that there was so much trash in there. And just last, Tuesday night, I had to pick up personal garbage at the city gym, the little, trash container right by the stairs. We're talking eggs, eggshells, bananas, ugh.
Somebody use your garbage for
Yeah.
it. They do mine in front of the shop all the time.
Ugh.
Constant.
But no, they did put in, Coak and here because of so much of the trash in there, but I love your idea of having the kids collect it, that would be great.
So we could definitely look into it. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna add, I think finding ways to consolidate the railers and plastic, I mean, that's what it's gonna take. We don't have facilities to recycle here, so we have to figure out how to, minimize
Well,
space.
Cross garbage rates are going up on us, and so if we could reduce that just by grinding the glass alone.
Yeah, I agree too. I think look into maybe Russell or Doug or somebody, or Brian, whoever, but.
And I don't think EPA would have any issue with dumping ground glass on a beach somewhere and creating a public beach. Because the kids all swim down there by the ballpark, and I don't see where it would harm anything, but we could definitely ask them.
Would be a question.
I'm just saying a double check.
Yeah, that's good, but I like the concept of it. Try to minimize and, utilize and minimize.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I'll add that the city of Coak is working with some grant funding that my understanding includes some baling equipment at the landfill. They're being required to go from open containers of garbage to closed containers when they ship it.
Yeah.
And in order to get the closed containers filled, it's easiest if the garbage is baled. So they're working on some equipment to be able to bale the garbage, and that may open some doors for recycling if they have the capability to bale and store plastics or whatever else.
Another use for that ground sand or glass would be concrete. They get to the concrete plant up there, when they do mix, they can use that sand in the concrete. And if you didn't want to put it on a beach, we could do that, so it would go into the concrete somewhere. So that's another option.
Yeah.
Definitely think the kids collecting recyclables in school might be a good idea, because I think a lot of kids would be motivated to go pick it up because it would get them out of class.
They would, and it also funds their sports activities, so
Exactly,
it would be a benefit for everybody, so it's something we definitely need to look into seriously, so. Because we've had an issue with this recycle thing for a while, and we're taking up time here on this, but it's something that needs to be discussed, so.
That's important.
Anyway, all right, guys, sorry about that. Treasurer.
Mr. Mayor, I submitted a report and got the answer. I think they
Any questions for our little treasurer over there?
Looking for volunteers for the budget committee.
Yes, that and, first of all, the auditor, fiscal year 21 has been bumped a little bit further. Hopefully we'll get her in soon, just waiting on our accounting software people to prepare some things first. But yes, who would like to help? I know Millie, Hannah and Jim C did last year. Julie, would like to?
I can't guarantee I can make every meeting, but I will, if you can put me on it, I'll try to make everyone I can.
Okay,
I'll try to come in, but I can't guarantee it, so.
okay. I don't know if there's a minimum of what we need, three. I'll ask Jim C or Hannah to.
Yeah, I know Hannah's usually pretty motivated to do the
Yeah.
budgets.
We'll send an email invitation to the students. council members.
I volunteer, but I don't.
I think if they're not here, they just get appointed.
But Jen's on it, sorry.
So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
And Sherry did find a auditing deal there. She had an issue with some way that AccuFund had entered her money. But she had a $40,000 mistake and figured it out. It took her 6 or 8 hours of her own weekend to figure it out, but she got it.
A lot of hard work.
A lot of hard
Thank you,
work.
Sherry.
But she did find it and fixed it, and it's all good now.
Well, it's not fixed now, and I have to have the implement.
Well, they have to fix their
Yeah.
issue. It's not your issue.
Yeah.
So that's good. Thank you, Sherry. Next one, aquatic manager, before you fall asleep, quick.
Sorry, I have been going for.
I know you
been
have.
going. I did submit a written report, a couple little add-ons, wonders of all wonders. Our filter is sitting in Samsung right now, not in town, but in Seattle, so
That's a start.
in theory, I should be back up and running. I'm telling people hopefully next week. I figure if I can get everything pulled out, the sand dried out, everything like that, because trying to get less sand out of that filter is like mud. Anyway, so I'm gonna be working on that through the time trial and everything this weekend, so I'll be up there all this weekend, getting the old one out and all that. Also, another wonder of the world is the treadmill showed up today. I ordered it in September. So the new treadmill got here today, so we're gonna work on getting that in. Chris is,
When it needs tested, I'll test it.
yeah, I'm gonna be testing it out, it needs to stop raining. Chris is gonna be gone, I found out another trip, Chris is gonna be gone a lot. So it's gonna make things a little tough, and especially, I didn't put it in there because it's not March yet, but just a heads up. If I go bonkers, like the 15th or over spring break, so blaming Chris and Lewis, because I'm gonna be there by myself pretty much, as the only 18-year-old. So I will be doing open to closes because everybody throws too many fits when there's no open swim. The messages were outrageous when I had COVID, or not, I didn't have COVID, my son had COVID, I had to take 3 days off. Absolute firing squad on my answering machine. So we'll get that worked out. Fun fact, when they built the building, they put the front desk in. Great front desk, they built the floor around it. So that was a little snag when we ripped that out and had to put 5 bags of concrete into a hole to level it out so we could put the new desk in, because they tiled and built the floor around the desk. The amount of spiders and stuff hiding in there was absolutely insane. But it's level now, it's not tiled, but it's level, because I mean, like, it was thick, quick, or we weren't gonna have a front desk. So Lewis said, Quikrete, we filled it with Quikrete, but yeah, I've never known a place to build a floor around the desk. Like, I opened it up and went, what is that? But stop by, take a peek, because it looks very bright. And I like it, like, it doesn't annoy me to be in there anymore. So, that's my story.
All right, thank you, man.
Mm-hmm.
City clerk, do we have one?
Oh, we have one. Asking for any council, I have, you would like me to update, there shouldn't be too much, but, I would like to change the passwords to match. We had to change, the mayor's that was giving him trouble, and so, on the actual Dropbox, not on the actual app, I have to get into it, so if you guys can do without those, I'm sure that you want to take that to Vegas with you, right?
Well, I mean, I might not have to if we don't have a meeting on February 17th.
True. So, anyone that can get this up, I'll be happy to work on those, and the third Thursday of the month would be February 17th, but, Brian has, will explain that there could possibly be a change in that.
So, the 17th, I'll be in Juneau, and the 17th is also the scheduled night of miracle meeting, which the mayor is planning on attending, and maybe of interest to some of their council members. So my suggestion is that if there's no pressing business that comes up, that we cancel the meeting February 17th and plan on meeting again March 3rd.
The miracle meeting at 5, right?
5 or 7?
527, so it starts at 5.
527, okay, yeah.
Oh, I guess the one was just 7, I thought just 6. Makes sense.
It starts at 5. I think that Southeast Conference is still settling on venue. I've offered them the council chambers, which is the third reason that I want a council meeting for the 17th. But I think they were looking at Chauncey as well as a venue.
Not by either one.
Okay. Thank you. City planner, do we have one? No? We have one, but
I'm looking hard.
I'm
looking hard.
all right. So we have a plan. We have a plan to find a plan.
Are you still doing both? As you said?
Yes, one job hopefully well and the other poorly. But yeah, I'm still doing both jobs at the moment. And the planner job, we're gonna just see.
Okay, our fire EMS coordinator is currently home with a throbbing migraine. She is making orders to get new SPCs, A's, and also new fire gear, and trying to use up an $82,000 grant we got last year.
Oh.
And she's pretty much there. If she hasn't already placed the order, I don't know, because she went MIA before I could find that out, so. But she's made good progress, so. That's a good thing. Harbor Master. Hans.
Mr. Mayor, I've submitted a written report, and I would like to add that I also am now looking for a new harbor clerk. So, happy to answer any questions anyone might have.
Questions of the Harbor Master? None? Thank you, Hans.
Yep.
Library. Are you hiding out there?
Hi, I would like to start off by apologizing that I missed the first meeting. It was my misunderstanding about calling it. So I submitted a report last time and I submitted it for this time, so if you have any questions.
Any question for our librarian? Everybody seems pretty happy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Police Chief, RJ.
Yeah, I did a written report, couple of things, the fire suppression system, sprinkler system at the PD has been fixed. The other company that was down here, I guess we could think Otis, but he had a box of extra parts that they found. It literally took probably less than 10 minutes to fix the broken component. The rest of their inspection month. It's like a summer seasonal position. May, this year until the end of September. He's got close to 30 years law enforcement experience. Some of it is military MP. He's from Georgia, but should be up here at the end of April. I know there was a mention about the body cam at a lot of council meetings. I've reached out to some agencies in Alaska that have used them. Now, we actually did a test program back in 2017 here in Craig with the cameras. There's some pros, well, there's a lot of pros, there's some cons. There is a financial aspect that could be substantial for our particular area. But I am researching, and I hope to at least be able to give the council a really good idea of some pros and cons, and mainly the financial aspect and the laws that for retention of the video. And there's some privacy issues. I'm not against it. I see a lot of benefit in it, but there's definitely, financial is always one aspect that comes along. But I hope to be able to give the council a lot more in-depth information. I guess I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Mayor, I
Right.
just also want to point out in the packet, there's,
Yes.
RJ's being shy of a handful of letters from the second grade class. It sounds like one of the Conway brothers went and visited the class, and it's always nice to get a little recognition, especially from second graders for our police department.
Yeah. One was wanting to be in.
Yes.
So cute. Sure.
We always get, like, the red ribbon, we get the little things, but this, second grade class, I thought was very love to be on it. I felt that the council needed to see it.
Chief Julie, this is Chanel. I know that you keep mentioning the financial burden. There are a couple different businesses that are willing to help with the financial, Amy's Cabin Rentals being one of them. Just so you're aware that.
Yeah, and I've spoken to the mayor, and he mentioned just the businesses. One of the hugest cost that's gonna come out of this whole thing is the retention that is required, how you store it, save it. Now, if we were someplace like Anchorage that had unlimited internet, whether it be fiber or high-speed DSL, the storage would be not an issue. But here, if we try to upload everything, kill it through local internet costs. And so the flip side of that is getting the actual equipment and servers that can retain. I know for certain events, you have to retain all the video and audio for 12 months, others it's 3 years. And video and audio eats up astronomical amounts of data. The new DVR unit that was installed at the police station is doing great, but it had 15 terabytes, and with 16 cameras, it took less than a month to max it out. So that just goes to show you what video and audio can do. But, I will definitely get something to bring before the council, hopefully sometime in March.
Okay, thank you, RJ. You'll get an X-ray tomorrow, and see if you got pneumonia.
I'm gonna do something that doesn't go away.
Yeah. Thank you. Public Works. Okay.
Russell, would you like to do your report?
Are you out there, Russell? You got a written report in there? I can't remember.
No,
No.
maybe we could go back to him.
Yeah, we'll circle back around. Recreation. Oh, there's you.
I'm here. Well, I did submit a written report. I want you to know that we are sending off our booklet to the printer, and we're doing it on the larger 11.5 by 17, so it'll be big and old people like me can read it. The Centennial is going to be fantastic, just so you know. I hope everybody comes. We got, all the signs are done now, Samantha's gonna start putting the names on the bottom. We've got, I talked to Ralph today, he's gonna do some stories. We've got 3 events, the one on Sunday afternoon, the actual birthday party at the gym, and then on the following Saturday with Doug Rhodes. It's gonna be great, little fireworks. I guess we're gonna let other people blow off fireworks too. We are hoping to have a dinner. Depends on the code rates. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna ask, you guys are probably gonna say no, but I have to ask so that I feel better about myself. I would like to be able to require masks, and I know that you guys don't think that's a good idea. But I am asking, if the rates are high, is it possible to do that at the birthday party on the first?
I'm gonna say yes. I mean, if I'm there, I'm gonna wear a mask, whether I'm asked to or not.
I believe optional is a lot better option, you know, if people wanna wear them, they should wear them. But demanding people wear them, I don't really like. Unless you're wearing an N95, it's not doing you a whole lot of good anyway. It does cut down some, but it doesn't cut it all down.
I'll take some. I mean, no, I feel I have to ask. You
No,
can
you're
say
fine.
no, but I need for me to feel right to be able to at least ask the question. So if you say no,
Well,
that's the way.
I understand. Council, what do you, any more comments on it?
I mean, like Lily said, that if they're gonna wear a mask, if they want to. So I think that optional is best, and I don't know what high is. But usually most of the time when it's high, we cancel or postpone events anyway.
Mhm.
And our infection rate right now is tapering down at this point. So the Omicron is starting to go away, fortunately, but. And when is this, March?
March 1st.
And High has taken on a whole new meeting recently. I mean, last Saturday, public health told me there were 24 active cases just in Craig. Picking up, over the last several weeks, they've been picking up between 16 and 100 cases a week, but it's kind of going through the population quickly, and public health's feeling is that it's gonna kind of burn through and start to taper off, which I think we're seeing a taper on it now.
Also, I know that people, now that it's been around for quite a while, and people know that when they get it, or they lose their taste or something, they don't even go test, they just quarantine like you're supposed to do, and wait for that time to be done and be sick and then go, so I don't feel like our numbers are very spot on anymore, because people are just doing the necessary steps that they've been taught to do.
Public health expressed the same thing there, that they can't really put an accurate number on anything, because people are treating themselves.
Right.
So,
I mean, which is, why spend money at the hospital when they're gonna tell you to do a home quarantine, so.
Well, I've taken 6 different people up there that were positive, and they give them a bottle of Tylenol, send them home.
Well, I know enough of the basketball team has gotten COVID and been exposed to COVID that There's more that have had it and been exposed where they can't be tested now that there's, you know, in the event that one of them pops positive or one that hasn't, they're not gonna miss any more basketball games. Unless the other towns cancel, it won't be us canceling, so.
Anyway,
I had to ask.
no, that's good.
And we have a art extravaganza happening on Saturday. Samantha Wilson, my talented assistant, is going to do a open paint and draw on Saturday from 3 to 5 this week. And then the next week, she's going to do a guided colored pencil drawing. And she's gonna do lovebirds, so that'll be something fun. We've also got the magic happening in the evening. The guy wants to start a chess club. And yeah, life is good.
The Saturday 55, where is that at?
You sent it.
Okay.
And the Girl Scouts are meeting there next week, just in case you want to join Girl Scouts, and yeah, it's available for meetings up there too, and it's looking really good. I found out today I haven't spent all my money, and I realized that I've been using my personal computer since my house burning. And I need to get a work computer so that when I leave, I can give everything to my predecessor. So I'm pretty excited. So I'll be gone in March because I'm just gonna get my eye fixed. I'll be able to see everybody then instead of just the people on my left side. So that's pretty much the story.
Okay. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you.
Parks and public facilities.
I submitted a written report, we have to ask any questions if there are.
You have any questions for that?
No, but I have a comment from Rusty, he's having trouble with his reception. Russell.
Oh, Russell.
Oh.
Sorry, my name is Rusty.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, perfect.
There you are, Rusty.
Whoever you are.
You want me to?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Okay, well, I was not able to, submit a written report, to the film, check this, but, Public Works, is, starting to gear up here for its, spring operations, and, we're getting excited about that, we received, some, new, diesel equipment, and, we are making plans, time. And, we're all pretty back and healthy, and so we're looking forward to getting to work.
All right. Any more questions for Russell at all? Good. All right, thank you, Russell.
All right, thank you.
Thank Rusty too.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Moving on. Reading the correspondence. Anything there? Anybody wants to discuss?
I want to get Mike's take on the wolf virus.
Weather really impeded them this year.
What's that?
The weather was a real impediment to the guys that wanted to get out this year. It was really limited. You know, with the previous estimate being 86 or whatever, they got 67. And reproduction, they didn't put a dent in the population at all.
Do you think that number is accurate, the 386?
I think it's more accurate than it's been in the past. And, you know, almost everybody here felt like it was higher.
I mean, it was like way off, like they said like, 100 or something. But do you think that, I have no, you think 386 is close?
I think they're close now, I do. They learned some stuff over the last 2-3 years because of the high harvest 2 years ago. That harvest that was almost equal to the number of what was estimated. It gave them a lot more data points to work with in terms of DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to kind of refigure their formula, and they realized they were short, and I know our mayor seen a letter and other people did, but they put out a letter and said that we were short in the past. We acknowledge that. We've reevaluated our analysis, and now our numbers are higher, and we feel that they feel very confident with them, and I feel much more confident, that they're close now. they're in the ballpark.
They're
Well,
in-
and I respect anybody that says they made a mistake.
Yeah.
I would say they're within 200 or so.
I think 400 is probably, right now, is probably, that's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Could be a few more.
Yeah.
I've heard people say there's like in the thousands, and it just isn't.
Well, you've been out there taking their pictures, so you know each one individually, so.
Yeah.
Few
Yeah. All right. That answer your question, Jim?
Yeah, I just was interested in your Mike's
of
take.
them, yeah. They're doing the best they can. It's tough,
Oh, yeah.
but they're doing it.
Mike, what's your take on the Board of Fish moving?
Well, they just didn't want to come down here.
They were afraid of us, or they just don't like it?
No, I just think it was, once they decided that they were gonna do it, a month ago and catch can, they just. It was like, well, good, because a lot of the staff, and I understand it, it's a lot of effort for them, but. They're doing Southeast, and it's traditional to be in Southeast when you do Southeast, so you can get representation, so they had a convenient excuse, they took advantage of it, how's
Yes,
that?
they did.
And they took an easy way out. They just didn't know how to get to the floor.
I'm still not happy about it, so yeah, a lot of people aren't.
Yeah, I know, there's a lot of frustration, but that's.
It's what we got to deal with, I guess. All right. You want to speak on the permanent capital thing, or we good on that? We pretty much know. what's
Lost a
going
little
on.
bit of money, we made a little bit of money, and I looked at it today, it was, today's balance is about $100,000 less than what the, November 30th balance was. It's on the sheet, it's in the packet, but, we went through a period of time where we lost $500,000 or so value. We picked that back up, so it's doing what it's supposed to do.
I'm still over 16,
Just under,
Oh, just
it's
under.
like 15.9 right
okay.
It's like this.
Yeah, the way everything went.
If you've been watching the market, it's been 500 and 600 points a day changes, so
Yeah.
it's been going to crazy.
I feel the pain.
And we.
Yeah, we all do.
We have our endowment fund invested with a long-term goal in mind. So
Right.
it's invested somewhat aggressively, and when the market goes down, you see big
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 swings.
dips. But it's back up where it was in November before these recent dips, and
It's not like 2008 when we lost 40%. Then took a week or two to come back. They usually do come back.
that's right.
So, all righty. Consideration of resolutions and ordinances, resolution 22-04, FY 22 shared fishery business tax program.
Move to approve 22-04, adopting the alternative allocation method for the fiscal year 22 shared fishery business tax for the southern southeast fisheries management area.
Second.
Motion been made.
All right.
You got that? Yeah. Motion's been made and seconded to accept resolution 22-04 FY 22 shared fisheries business tax program. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, do a roll call vote, please.
Lori Spinner,
Yes.
Michael Campbell.
Yes,
Julie McDonald,
Yes.
Sharon Campbell.
Yes.
Unanimous, yes. Thank you, council. Resolution 22-05 authorizing excavator NCL government capital lease to finance it.
Move to approve resolution 22-05. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept resolution 22-05 authorizing excavator NCL government capital lease funding. Any discussion on this? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Lori Spinner,
Yes.
Michael Campbell.
yes.
Julie McDonald,
Yes.
Sharon Campbell.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's that language. Resolution 22-06 supporting Alaska Senate Bill 166 and House Bill 285 infrastructure projects.
Move to adopt.
Motion's been made and seconded to adopt resolution 22-06 supporting Alaska Senate Bill 166 and House Bill 285 infrastructure projects. Discussion. None. Roll call vote, please.
Melanie Scarecrow,
Yes.
Justin Sherman,
Yes,
Susan Charles,
Yes.
Carol Kevin,
Yes.
Person Hackett,
Resolution 22-07 adopting LCAC resolution 2201 prioritizing transportation priorities.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to adopt resolution 22-07 adopting LCAC resolution 22-01 prioritizing transportation priorities. Any discussion?
I think this is timely. This winter weather is gonna cause a lot of road problems, sure. Talking to different people about it here this week, and they're noticing, problems that have already been developing, and this weather is just gonna make it worse.
Yeah, magnify it for sure.
Even the lines on the road are hard to see.
Yeah. A lot of sand on our roads, it's gonna have to be swept here one of these days, whenever the boys get around to us, there's spring cleanup. So. Anyway, any more discussion on that? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Melanie Scarecrow,
Yes.
Person Hackett,
Yes,
Susan Charles,
Yes.
Sharon Kevin,
Yes.
Person Hackett, Mr. Careful.
See, we have no unfinished business, we have no new business. We don't have any council comments, but that's okay. Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to bring up, because I was asked to, the garden, the community garden. There's been a huge effort to revitalize, the community garden. I do use it, it really is, there's a lot of, kids that are doing that, which is really cool to see, like middle school aged, and even some younger ones, having beds and learning, and then it's really kind of neat, you have the older people, and then they come over and help them with their beds, so it's neat to see it getting going. They have gotten, Tim got, Wolf got a grant, with some, good soil, they built a whole bunch of new beds, they raised the money and all that on their own. So they revitalized it on their own, but there have been 2 requests made to me. One is they are requesting a light inside the greenhouse and not a grow light, because that gets into, expense, the bulbs and the all that. But they have requested there be a light,
Heat lamp or something.
or just literally just a light so they can see.
Mhm.
Because they want to start in March or April, and it started early, and it's, you can't even see in the greenhouse. So I don't know if we want to put this on the agenda for another meeting or for in the budget meeting. I don't know when the appropriate time to discuss it, but they've asked for a light. And then they also were asking if there was any possibility that lot next to the garden, I believe, is the city's. And they were wondering if there would be any interest in the future in expanding the garden.
Sure.
So if you're looking at the front of the garden to the right.
George,
Yeah,
Farmer.
yeah, towards Target.
it's on the same lot, actually.
It's all the same lot.
The fence is the only thing different.
Yeah, so
So just clear out all that brush. and
clear it out,
Expand the
make it
fence.
flat and expand the fence, if there'd be interest in doing that, since they're being limited by space.
I know a guy with a chainsaw.
So I wanted to bring that up as something for, not to take any action tonight, obviously, but maybe something on radar for the future.
We'll put that under next week's new business. Okay,
I mean, if they're just looking for lights, how big a building is it?
I think we've been talking about more than just installing a light. My
Yeah,
recollection
there's
is
no
there's
power.
no power service up there.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no power, you have to run power, and then,
Okay,
In the city in Search, a little history, 2010, the city in Search cooperated to put the garden in place in the first place. And over the years, the city has kind of taken an approach where we let the gardeners manage the garden, so the city really hasn't taken, even though we own it, we don't take any management. But we have, throughout the years, pick up garbage, put water service in up there. Provided other services to help the garden grow. We handled the grants that the garden folks have found that they needed a government entity or someone to handle the financing for. So it's not uncommon for us to, they don't, unless it's changed. The garden group generally does not have any formal infrastructure.
Yeah.
So there's nobody to like bill for electricity, so putting lights in would mean us likely footing the bill to put a service in and to pay the monthly bill on service up there for, lights and whatever else is used. But I'm happy to have a discussion with the garden folks and figure out what they're looking for, bring something back to the council. But it's been great, the garden's been great, and the city's participation has been great over the years. So I'm happy to have that discussion.
Yeah, I think it's a positive thing, so I'm all for it.
There's a lot more interest in it. Wally Kennedy must have put 1,000 pounds of fish heads and guts in there this year and then covered it up with their topsoil and built structures to hold it all up. And
I've been impressed with what they've done.
Well,
They've reboxed all the blocks.
something we may want to consider is I can approach Cody Swagel from AT&T on maybe dropping a line in there and maybe they'll contribute a little bit to run a 90-watt bulb or something.
Yeah.
We'll see what they say. Maybe they'll donate it. So we can talk to them,
Happy to have some discussions and bring some information that you can.
bring him in here, twist his arm a little.
Victor, were you raising your hand to comment on that or?
I have a. That's some thoughts, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I'm always thinking.
Okay,
Move to adjourn.
Second.
motion been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
All right,
Any
Aye, aye.
opposed? Thank you, council. And staff.
Good job.
Rattle.